My son, Marcus, ordered security to remove me from the boardroom on the 40th floor because my simple cotton dress embarrassed the billionaire image he wanted to project. He didn't shout. He simply leaned in and whispered in my ear that my humble presence ruined the elite atmosphere he had spent years building. I didn't argue. I didn't make a scene. I just took my old leather purse and walked out quietly through the service elevator. What Marcus didn't know was that the investment fund about to sign the $50 million check to save his company was secretly managed by me.
Marcus wasn't always a cold man. As a child, he was the boy who held my hand at the grocery store and thanked me for every single meal on the table. He grew up seeing my sweat. He saw me work for years as a seamstress and artisan after his father passed away. He thought sewing was our only source of income, and I let him think that.
What he never knew is that his father and I were the original founders of the holding company that gave birth to the Thorn Group, one of the largest empires on Wall Street. When my husband passed, I inherited control of everything. But I chose the simplicity of the suburbs and the quiet of sewing to protect my peace from the greed of the corporate world.
To protect Marcus's character, I secretly used our fund to create an anonymous merit scholarship at the most expensive tech college in the country. Marcus received the acceptance letter thinking he was a self-made genius. But the $100,000 a year tuition actually came entirely from my private account.
Surrounded by wealthy heirs and dazzled by status, Marcus's ego inflated. To blend in with his new friends, he built an armor of arrogance. He began inventing stories about his lineage and grew deeply ashamed of his hard-working mother. Years later, Marcus founded a logistics startup. His system was good and honest, but his cash reserves emptied because he spent more on flaunting his wealth than investing in the business. He desperately needed the $50 million investment from the Thorn Group to avoid going under.
That morning, I walked into his company to deliver a folder of personal documents he had forgotten on my table. But before opening the boardroom door, I heard Marcus shouting at his chief technology officer. Marcus wanted to use the $50 million from the investment not to save the company's logistics, but to buy a failing cryptocurrency and digital currency platform from a college friend. The CTO begged him, "Marcus, this crypto business is a house of cards, a scam designed to fool suckers. If we put the money there, the company will go bankrupt in 90 days.
But Marcus, blinded by his ego, replied, "You don't have a shark mentality. At Saturday's dinner with investors, I'm going to announce that I bought a tech giant. I want the headline in the newspaper. The Thorn Group will sign the check because they are buying my genius."
Worried, I walked into the room and tried to intervene discreetly. My son, buying smoke just to impress others could cost you your future. Marcus turned red with embarrassment in front of his directors. Seeing his seamstress mother giving financial advice destroyed the illusion of elite status he was selling. He stood up and called security to throw me out. What Marcus didn't understand about the financial market is that large funds use what is called a blind trust. On paper, the Thorn Group belonged to a generic legal entity. My family's name was locked away under lock and key. Marcus spent months researching the fund's CEO, but he never knew who actually owned the money.
Furthermore, the fund's bylaws dictated that any high-risk investment over $40 million strictly required the physical, in-person signature of the majority shareholder. When the system locked the electronic release, the CEO called me. And that's how I discovered the madness my son was about to commit. At 2 p.m, the crucial meeting began. Marcus and his team waited tensely for the arrival of the big boss. The glass door opened. Marcus adjusted his tie, flashing his best corporate smile. But his smile froze when I walked into the room. The Thorn Group executives didn't look at Marcus. They cleared the way for me. The silence became suffocating. The fund's CEO stepped forward, pulled out the main chair at the head of the table, and bowed his head slightly.
"Good afternoon, Mrs. Vance," he said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. "The final reports for the startup are ready for your review."
Marcus tried to speak, but the words vanished. His directors looked confused, glancing from Marcus to me, realizing the fatal mistake they had witnessed that morning. The color completely drained from my son's face.
"Mom, what is the meaning of this?" he stammered, his arrogance instantly disappearing, replaced by the scared boy from years ago.
In the past, when I managed the holding company, I was known in the market as the architect of risk. For my surgical ability to predict collapses before any computer could. I opened Marcus's project folder and threw the cryptocurrency papers onto the table.
"It means, Marcus," I said, my voice calm and measured, "that you spent so much time trying to look rich that you forgot how real power works. Real power is silent." I looked at the numbers and dismantled his plan in front of his entire team. This digital currency company you want to buy is a setup. They inflated their valuations just to find a proud fool like you to pay their bills. You didn't want to save your company and your employees. You just wanted a fake title to show off at a Saturday dinner. I closed the contract folder. The Thorn Group does not place capital in the hands of someone who is incompetent out of vanity and disrespects their own foundation. The investment is canceled.
Marcus collapsed into his chair. His company went bankrupt the following week. Shortly after, I used the fund to buy the remnants of the company at a bankruptcy auction. I saved the jobs of the humble workers and appointed the former CTO as the new president. As for Marcus, I let him start from scratch, working in the warehouse, moving boxes for minimum wage, not out of revenge, but so he can finally learn the value of hard work and discover that a man's character cannot be bought on Wall Street. This story shows us how vanity and the pursuit of easy money can blind even the most promising minds. What did you think of this mother's actions? Did she do the right thing by vetoing the investment and letting her son's company fail to save him from his own arrogance? Or do you think she was too harsh and should have given his business another chance? Leave your honest opinion in the comments below. I read and follow every perspective. And if this story brought a lesson to your day, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next stories of justice and karma. Thanks for watching.